out to everybody. Thank you for coming to RVWeekends live in the Florida Keys. I'm driving in the Florida Keys and I'm getting ready to hit some beautiful water. Let me flip the camera around. Oh, it won't be long now. It won't be long now. Shout out everybody, thank you for coming. Yeah, we're fixing to hit a bridge here. Let's see what it looks like. The first bridge that should show us some pretty water. Hello, hello. All right. Heading to some more water. Rob on the road, what's happening? I am in the Florida Keys heading to a campground. Catch some lobsters on August 6th. Lobster season starts. Ah, okay. I'm driving on A1A, heading southeast, or southwest, I should say, well, I'm camping about 36 miles east of Key West. That's where we catch a lot of lobsters. And my brother-in-law and sister were there on Wednesday and Thursday. They've been here all week, and they have a sports season on Wednesday and Thursday, and they caught lots of lobsters, so it was pretty cool. Jay Dela Cruz in Dubai, shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing well. Let me turn the camera around. Well, nothing to see right now, just a little traffic jam. I'm trying to time it to where I'll hit some bridges and I can show you some cool water. I'm in the Keys for a week. I think I got 9 days. I usually stay a couple of weeks, but this time I'm running low on sick time and vacation. Well, not really low. I just don't want to use it all up, you know. So I'm trying to save a little because I'm going to be taking some Halloween. I'm going to take a week off in Halloween to go to London to see 3K. I originally was going to see her after this trip, but she said she's very busy, not the best time. So I moved it back to Halloween week, which is some of the greatest prices to fly to London. It's like less than $600 round trip, non-stop. Incredibly good. But I had a little, you know, I've had my little shares of things to slow me down today. So I normally would already be there. I had a tire plies separate, so I had a bad tire. So I had to pull off and change that. Good thing is I had a spare, of course. Now I'm riding on a spare. Let's see here. Halloween in the UK should be a new experience. No, I did Halloween last year, I think. Yeah, I did Halloween last year with 3K. It was pretty good. I'm not into Halloween. I don't like all the scary stuff. I mean, I like fun, scary things, but not into serious, scary stuff. You know, not into skeletons and horror. Don't like all that. But anyway, yeah, I was there last year for Halloween. And I've been last 3 Christmases. I think the last 3 Christmases, yeah. This is maybe the last 2. Wait, I'm confused now. Pretty sure I've been there 3 times for Christmas already. I think I'm confused. I have to double check. I want to say this is my 4th Christmas, because I think I did 2 or 3 weeks the first time for Christmas. I did 4 weeks the next time. I did 3 weeks this last time, and now I'm going to do another 3 weeks for Christmas. Yeah, I think this year will be my 4th trip. Does that mean I've known 3K 4 years? It's got to be. Maybe I'm miscalculating my years. I got it on my notepad on my phone. But we're fixing to go over a bridge here. It's a traffic jam. Slow driving about 20 miles an hour. Let me turn the camera around and pull the camera off of the stand. And let me roll down the window a little bit. Not as pretty as it will be soon. This is the Upper Keys. Not as pretty up here as it is farther south and west. There's people coming by in their boats under the bridge. And look, you can see a lot of people out there on the sandbar. I can't do it with 2 hands because I'm driving. But all those white dots out there, those are boats on a sandbar. And they're out there partying. And this is actually where I took 3K Brandy to this restaurant right here, the seafood buffet. I took her there to the seafood buffet. All you can eat seafood. I'm not into all you can eat, but she wanted to try it, so I took her there to that place. All right, there's your first glimpse of the water. No more glimpses at the moment. We have to go on the land till we hit another bridge, which is coming up shortly. Another bridge will be coming up pretty soon. Yeah, the weather's beautiful. I don't see any clouds in the sky. Blue sky. You can see people leaving with their boats and their RVs. Another boat. It's a popular place. And you can drive here. Back in the early, like 1900, you could not drive here. You couldn't drive here till after, I think, 1930 something, 1940, because the only way to get here was a boat. And then Henry Flagler built the East Coast Railway, and he made bridges all the way. I think it was, I'm not sure how many bridges. I don't want to guess wrong, but at least 30 something bridges. Just hop, skip, and jump from island to island to get the train to the end of where Key West is. Key West used to be the richest city in the United States because they used to be wreckers there, because the boats would run aground on reefs out there. There were so many reefs, and it's shallow and rocky that boats would get stuck. So that was a booming business, was wrecking. There's some more RVs, fifth wheels. So that was a booming business, is saving boats from sinking and getting the booty off of the boats. And they'd split it with the owner. The owner would give them like 50% to save the stuff on the boat. And at least they'd get 50%, right? The owners of the boat, instead of having it all go down in the ocean. So this area, shout out, Jose, fantastic spill. Shout out to you. So there's an area here on the east coast of Florida called the Treasure Coast, because that's where Mel Fisher found the Etosha shipwreck, where there was millions of dollars of Spanish gold and all kinds of bars, stuff like that. Snobs Vlogs, what kind of name is that? It's kind of strange. Shabs, oh Shabs, sorry. Shout out. How are you doing? Yeah, so look, more boats, people leaving. Look, sushi shake, sushi shake, sushi shake, sushi shake, sushi shake, sushi shake. All right, let me check who's here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, nice business. That's why Key West was the richest city in the country, in the U.S. Here's another popular place, the Worldwide Sportsman Store. People stop off to buy their stuff, and there's a restaurant there, fish company. Again, lots of boats leaving. Lots of boats coming. I'm coming in here. I don't have a boat, but my brother does, and my sister does. So 2 boats. How long's the drive today? Oh, it's typically around, if you're in a car and you can go, you know, fast, typically can get here in 6 hours. But I'm pulling an RV, so I'm driving slower, under the speed limit most of the time, except when I'm on these roads, because I can do the speed limit here. It's only 45. Mileage, it's about 400 miles, somewhere around 400 miles one way. I did it on my scooter. I don't know if you remember. I rode on my scooter all the way to Key West from my town, and it was 880 miles round trip. So it's about 400 miles or so, maybe a little less. And like I said, if you got a car, you can drive fast. You can take the interstate and go really fast and get here quick. But to me, today, I left about 6. I had to make a stop. I made several stops. And I'm not going to make it there till probably in about an hour or less. I think I'm within an hour of getting there. It's at mile marker 37, and a mile marker's coming up right here. And again, I got to go 45, the speed limit. Mile marker 80 right here. This is mile marker 80, the little green sign on the side of the road there. So you subtract 30, 36, you know, so about 44 miles left at 45 miles an hour. So we're about an hour away. Here's some more water. Here's some more. Oh yeah, look at that. How beautiful. Sorry for the glare on my windshield. I have to drive carefully, you know. I don't want to crash my truck. Beautiful. This is so beautiful here. Used to be able to pull off the road here, and they just ruin it for everybody, man. They block it so you can't stop. Used to stop here and check out the water. Beautiful. Just spectacular. Yeah, love this place. And the best time to come through here usually is around noon, 11 a.m. noon, because the sun high in the sky, if there's no clouds, and the sun just pierces the water and makes it so teal and beautiful. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, I love this place. Probably my favorite place to camp. And I'll be catching lobsters. It's one of the reasons we come here, especially this time of year, because lobster season starts. It's closed for 3 months. It's closed for 3 months, and then it opens up the last Wednesday and Thursday of July. And then it closes again. It opens for 2 days. They call it a sports season, so no commercial fishermen can catch any lobsters. And here's some flats. out there. You can see it's very shallow over there. That's where the boats would run aground. Just spectacular. Beautiful here. And you see the boats, they navigate in those buoys to stay in the deep water because it's so shallow here. Your boat will run aground. And I've done it on a jet ski. I've ran aground on a jet ski. All right, here we go. I don't know about salmon. I don't know about that. I'm not a fisherman per se. I don't really use a rod or a reel. I go down there with like a noose and catch the lobsters, or a net and catch the lobsters, or grab them by hand with gloves. Here's a popular spot. You can see all these people parked here. This is a spot where you can pay and feed the tarpon fish, little fish. So the tarpon hang out by the dock, under the dock, and people pay for fish, and they hold the fish over the dock, underneath on the side of the dock, and the fish jump out of the water and grab the fish out of your hand. Yeah, I wouldn't mind fishing. I just don't put any effort into it. I wouldn't mind doing some fishing. I don't know. Maybe when I retire, I'll learn how to fish. Yeah, there's crabs here. There's crabs here. I don't go catching crabs either, because unless they're big, it's a lot of work to get the meat out. Yeah, my sister and brother-in-law were catching lobsters on Wednesday and Thursday. I don't know how many they did on Thursday, but I know they caught as much as they legally could catch on Wednesday. And he called me actually on my way in and said, "Dude, I'm gonna show you some spots. There's some new spots." And I went, "Cool. Catch lobsters." So the season closed yesterday and will open on August 6th. So that'll be whatever, Wednesday or Thursday, I forget. So there's no lobstering right now till then. So I'll be camping, sightseeing or whatever, enjoying the water, looking for holes to check when the season opens. Yeah, typically I don't cook my lobsters when I'm there. I might cook one or two. I think the most I've ever cooked was 2 when I'm fishing there. Then I take them home. I put them in the freezer. I brought a freezer with me, and I have a small freezer in my RV, in my camper, and I freeze them to eat them throughout the year. But it's been 3 years since I've been here. I went 3 years ago. Look at this beautiful bay here. 3 years ago, I split my Keys vacation. I cut it down and went to see 3K. So I've been going every year since the early 2000. Learn how to scuba dive, go catch lobsters, and then when I met 3K, I wanted to go see her, so I cut my lobster trip in half and went to see her. And then the next year, I paid for her to come to see me, and I drove her to the Keys. I didn't catch any lobster, but I did take her here. And my brother was camping, and she got to meet my brother, and he took us out in the boat. He took me and 3K out in the boat. She got to snorkel and enjoy a little bit of the Florida Keys. And then the next year I rode my scooter down here. Last year I rode my scooter here, so I didn't catch any 2 years in a row. So this is my first time back in 3 years to catch some lobsters. And I had to get all my gear together so I could do it again. The only thing that was questionable is my snorkel, actually. Everything else seems fine. Yes, Florida is a very biodiverse area, probably similar to the Philippines. So we have a lot of mixture of fresh and salt water, what we call brackish water. So you got lots of different creatures living in those areas. Lobsters right here, typically in these mangroves, shrubs. And we don't have any mountains in Florida. So we have lots of swamp, flat land where water can't get out. So we get lots of different creatures, alligators, you know, snakes, cockroaches. We got the same roaches you guys got. We got a lot of different kinds of roaches here. There's some people on motorcycles, they've been riding. It's hot out though, man. I don't know if I wouldn't want to do a motorcycle. All right, we're fixing to go over this bridge. This is one of my favorite picturesque spots when I'm leaving, because if you look over here, there is absolutely no land. There is no land out there. That is the Atlantic Ocean. And this is the Gulf of America, formerly the Gulf of Mexico. So that's what I love about the view from this bridge. You just look out over the ocean. There is no land, absolutely no land. All right, we're coming up on that bridge. Yeah, same like in the Philippines. Yep. Cockroaches and spiders and sometimes scorpions. Yeah, it rained right before I was loading just about to load up to come here. It rained and the whole ground was saturated and squishy. I got my feet wet from loading up. Lightning storm came through. Oh, there's some clouds in the distance. Here comes that big bridge. Where am I heading? I'm heading to a campground. The Keys are about 110 miles long. Some can say longer. And I'm going down to 37 miles from the end. And I typically visit the end also, which is Key West. And here's that bridge I was talking about that we're on. And you can see forever, and there's nothing out there. Nothing but water. I don't know how people go out in the water on ships. It's way too scary. If you break down, sink, die, drown. Can't walk home. Beautiful area. Just magnificent. Atlantic Ocean, Gulf of America. Yeah. It's called the Overseas Highway. That's what they call it. Overseas Highway. That was built by Henry Flagler. He built a train track all the way to the end, Key West. In 1910 or 11, it got finished. And then in 1937 or 6, something like that, a hurricane came through and wiped out a lot of the train tracks. And the state of Florida, or the federal government, I don't remember who, bought the land that the tracks were on, and they turned it into a road, which is where we're driving right now. This used to be train tracks. So I've been coming here. This is a new road. There used to be the original road built in the 40s, I believe, or 1939. I can't recall exactly. And they turned the train tracks into a road. They turned the train bridges into roads. They built roads on the train tracks, widened it for 2 cars to go by, and it was quite scary. I rode on that road back in 1971 and 2, right before they built a new road. They built a new bridge, and they left the old bridge, so you'll see that eventually here. And if you look at some of my old videos, you can see the old, wow, look at the size of this boat coming. My goodness. Same truck as me pulling that humongous boat. Man, that was a big boat. I'm not a big fan of pulling a boat that's so heavy that you can't pull it out of the water. I mean, that's pretty crazy how heavy that boat would be to get it out of the water. Yeah, a lot of history here in the Florida Keys. It's gotten pretty popular. A lot of people come here every year. And hurricanes hit here. It's quite chaos, you know, when the hurricanes are coming, people trying to get out of here. I haven't got caught by one out here in the Keys, but I have had other camping trips canceled because of hurricanes. They damaged the campgrounds. So it's quite the boat town. You can do anything pretty much with a boat that you can do with a car here. A lot of restaurants are on the water. Hotels, motels, all on the water. So there's so many things you can do from your boat. And I actually rode my bike across one of these really long bridges. 7 Mile Bridge is the longest bridge in this system here. I rode my bike across it twice. Here's a campground called Long Key. It's coming up on the left here. I camped at this campground, Long Key State Park. State parks mean they are maintained by the local state. We have states, the United States, so Florida is a separate state, and then they have counties like boroughs. They have county parks, county campgrounds, private campgrounds, and state-owned campgrounds, and federal campgrounds. They call them national campground. So this one is a state park. Where I'm going is a state park. They're usually decently maintained and usually low price. That's what's really attractive about the state parks, is the government forces, they do low prices so people can, you know, afford to go camping. The problem with that is everybody wants to be there because the price is so cheap. So it's hard to get into the state parks. You really got to work hard to get in. Some people give up. They're just not going to work that hard, but we've been doing it for years. There's a bay right there. And the sign says Marathon 15 miles, Key West 64. Marathon is coming up before Bahia Honda. So 15 miles to Marathon. Marathon Key is the longest key in the Florida Keys. I said key 3 times. Yeah, local rules for certain things. Federal rules do trump local rules depending on the situation. Like sometimes some areas are local, things are banned federally but not locally, so they get away with it because the government's not going to fight a small thing like that. Other things, yeah, the local area governs it. It's kind of like police. We have city police, and then outside the city area is called a county, and those are controlled and patrolled by sheriffs. And you can see here, water on both sides. Water on both sides here, bridge in the middle, water on both sides again. So this is a pretty long bridge right here. This one looks like about 3 miles long. There's somebody in their boat. So pretty. Yeah, I have a video on it, a playlist of the Florida Keys, and in there is me riding my bike across the 7 Mile Bridge and back. So quite the adventure. It was 11 miles one way because I started at my campsite and rode across a couple of bridges to get to the 7 Mile Bridge, and then I went to a restaurant, cooled off, and then turned around and came back to my camper. So pretty. You can see the old bridge right here on the left. Let me get the phone out and pull it out here. So if you see that little fishing area on the other side of the bridge, on the left side of the bridge, that is the old railroad bridge that used to be a road. That was the original train tracks. And in some areas, they turned it into a fishing pier. This area, that's what they did. It's a fishing pier. And there's some people right there in their boat looking for some lobsters. Of course, they can't catch them right now. And there's somebody with their little awning, little pop-up. Uh-oh. There's the police. I had to slow down. He pulled over. I don't know if he pulled somebody over or they just had their hazards on. Anyway, I had to slow down and move over so they could have room. And this bridge is going up high to let the boats through that are taller. You can see the discoloration in the water. That's the shallows there, the lighter colors there. That's the shallow area. And here's some lodging. Very nice. All right, let me put the phone back in the case, in the holder here. How many hours if you used your bike? I don't remember to ride the 7 Mile Bridge. I don't remember how long it was. I didn't time it. But one thing it was hot. I know that. It was hot. I trained for it, so I was ready. But by the time I was pulling into the campground, I was ready for the air conditioning. So ready. So I wouldn't have wanted to go another 5 miles, that's for sure. All right, we should be getting closer to Marathon Key, the longest key. It's a marathon, very long key. And then the 7 Mile Bridge. Let me check my battery. It's doing okay. I got it on the charger. Yeah, it's a long ride. Let's see what mile marker we are. There's a little green sign on the side of the road, really small. It's got the number on it, the mileage. So we're at mile marker 62. 62. So we're less than the 30 miles, I think. Something like that. Right at 30 miles. Yeah. Less than 30 miles. So here's another bridge. Look how pretty the water is. Never gets old. Love it. People in the water right there with You can see them in the beside the boat, swimming. Yeah. Probably gonna go out in the water in a couple of hours. My brother-in-law's there. He's got a boat. He was like, we could go out at 6 or something. He sent me a text, but I was live, so I didn't respond yet. Let me look at it. There's some jet skiers, little jet skis. The water's nice. Look how calm it is. There's no waves. It's a beautiful day. It's not always calm like that. It's usually windy. You never know with the weather. Clouds and sea water are the same color now. So lovely, amazing. Yeah, this is a beautiful place. All right, we're coming to Marathon. Here is the sign right here. The sign for Marathon is right there. I usually don't like zooming in unless it's in my hand because it vibrates. And one thing you don't want to do here is go fast because there's lots of law enforcement on the roads and they will get you. And there's no reason to go fast. You're on vacation. Relax. Enjoy the view. Drive safely. Don't get hurt. Don't hurt someone. Marathon is, like I said, a long island. There is even an airport here. Grocery stores, hotels, all that here. Then 7 Mile Bridge is next. Once we hit 7 Mile Bridge, it's only 11 miles to Bahia Honda. Here's the Ocean Research Center. They got a big dolphin right there. Tiki bars and restaurants. All right, thanks for watching. Jay Dela Cruz, Dubai. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, wonderful morning. Almost 12 a.m., huh? Okay. So good evening, good night. Have a good night's sleep. Rest well. What time is it here? It is 3:48 p.m. So almost 4 hours past noon. Extremely hot out. No wind. Extremely hot. It's probably 34 degrees Celsius. Probably plus 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me see. The only thing that cools it off is the ocean. Let's see what our temperature is here. Feels like 190 degrees today. 90. So I don't know what that is. 31? I'm not sure. Not sure. But it feels like 100. I'm so thankful that I'm almost there, because I had some issues on the way here. I had to put on my spare tire, my extra tire. So I'm thankful that I have a nice tire, but hopefully I don't have another issue. And I'm thankful I have all these tools with me to work on things. And I found some shade. The Dubai is 15 hours ahead. Yeah, and 3K is in the UK, which is 5 hours ahead. 15 hours, that's a long way. Really, 15 hours? That's crazy. Because the Philippines is only 11 hours difference. That's crazy. I thought you'd be less than that. Aren't you in between the UK and the Philippines, or is my geography wrong? You're on the other side of the Philippines? You have to be that far ahead. So you're farther west than the Philippines. Oh, east, sorry. So it would be closer to go to you to the west than it would be to go east. I haven't looked at India that much, so I probably am so wrong with my geography. Let's look at our, let's see, 20 miles left. Less than 20 miles. So 11 miles on top of 37, that's 47, 48. So we're at 55. 48 from 55, that's 7. So we got 7 more miles till we hit the 7 mile bridge. 7 more miles to hit the 7 mile bridge. You're 3 hours ahead of the UK. Well, the UK is only 5 hours ahead of us. So you're less than 15 hours. Because 12 hours would be midnight. So it's 4 and you're just now getting to midnight, or did you say 1 a.m.? Let's see here. Yeah, you're just now hitting 12. So 4 from 12 is 8. So you're 8 hours ahead of us. 8 hours ahead. 5 and 3 is 8. All right, there's some more water. We're coming into the heart of Marathon. Correct. Oh, the nice sports car over here. Oh my goodness, what is that? What is that? I don't know what that is. Sports car though. I think it was a Mercedes. All right, we're getting close to the end of my live stream. Because I'm gonna be getting to my destination and it's a lot of work. I gotta go into their check into the office and give them my information, get some information from them, post it on my windshield, set up my camper in the hot sun. A lot of things to do. I'm right behind a Class C motorhome. Class C camper, RV, Class C RV. A Winnebago. Navion. Winnebago Navion. Right in front of us. Alrighty then. Getting close to 7 Mile Bridge. Marathon Key. You're on your way to work, right? Not me, I'm on my way to play, vacation. Nope, I'm going to camp. Set up, I'm pulling my camper back here. Can you see it behind me? That's my motor scooter, my bicycle, my kayak, and my camper following me. It's tailgating me, like right on my bumper, because it's attached to my bumper. Not really attached to my bumper, but to the frame. Ball hitch. Here's the airport. Marathon Airport. Yep, you can fly into here if you got a small airplane or a small jet. Oh, look at that fighter plane. British plane. Oops, sorry, thank you. Oh, look, I'm doing a live stream. I'm videotaping a live stream at Marathon Airport. We're in Marathon Key, getting ready to cross the 7 Mile Bridge. Yahoo! And 3K Brandy is live. So I got to shoot some video of the 7 Mile Bridge. Almost there. We are under 15 miles to Bahia Honda State Park. Almost to the 7 Mile Bridge. Once we get to the 7 Mile Bridge, it's 11 miles. And here, the speed limit slows down. They slow down to 35 instead of 45. Because it's very busy as far as congestion goes with businesses. Yeah, she just went live. I got the notification. I'm busy. I can't go over there. I'm driving. I could pop in. I could say hi on my other phone, I guess. Let's see here. Oh, there she is.
I-play ko po tong video short travel.
Let me flip the camera.
Ayan, sandali lang po SF.
Probably not a smart thing to do. Let me mute. I think she wanted me to do something for her today because she said something to me. Like, are you going to be driving? I said, yeah, I'm driving. When are you going to get there? I thought it's going to be late before I get there. Oh yeah, she's live right now. Ah. I gotta shoot some video of the 7 Mile Bridge. Look, it's crab time. They just had a big billboard, I missed it. It said crab time. You can say hi to her. She didn't come to my live. Why is that? I see how it is, 3K. You can come to my live. She's busy. You do yours, I do mine. What kind of relationship is that? That's how it is. There's a turtle hospital. McCoy, Rick, shout out. Tell 3K she should have been at my live first. She could have hung out with me for a little bit at least. I'm not important to her. That's what it is. Not a big deal. Just stop watching her live because I got to shoot some video here. Yeah, you see how it is. Not everything appears like you think it is on the screen, right? You think it's all rosy and wonderful, right? These women, they don't know a good thing. 7 Mile Grill. Right there, 7 Mile Grill. We're hitting the 7 Mile Bridge here in a minute. We will be there. Let me turn this around. There we go. All right, we're fixing to hit that 7 Mile Bridge. It's just another bridge, right? Thank you, McGoy, for coming by. McGoy, Rick, thanks for coming by. Here it is. All right, we're coming up on the Sunset Grill and the 7 Mile Bridge. You know why they call it 7 Mile Bridge, right? It's almost 7 miles long. And on the right, you will see the old railroad bridge that is turned into a pier. But up ahead, you'll see the original bridge, unchanged. Unchanged since 1972. All right, look to the right. You see the new bridge. The old bridge refurbished. Now it's a fishing, walking area, which I haven't done yet. I want to do it with my bike. Maybe I'll do it this time. Drive my truck over here with the bike in the back, and then ride my bike to the Pigeon Forge Island. Yeah. There's some dudes in the boat down there. There's an island up here on the right. Angel Germany, shout out to you. Thank you for coming. I'm going to end this live stream very quickly. I'm almost to my destination, so I cannot be managing a live while I'm checking into the campground, setting up my RV, going camping. This Pigeon Forge Island on the right here. There's tours there. I think there's a museum there. Let me see here. Right there. And after that is the original condition of the bridge when it used to be a highway. They stopped driving on it, I think it was 1972. So that's the original road. After the train stopped running, they put a road on top. And here is the highest point. Coming up, you'll see the bridge go up. They actually filmed a couple movies here. Recently they did one, and then, what was it, The True Lies or Total Recall? They drove a car up the bridge here. One of these openings. They drove a car off of it. You're welcome. Where am I? I'm in the Florida Keys, south of Miami, out in the ocean. This is called the Overseas Highway. Overseas Highway, they drive the cars over the sea. The highway goes over the ocean. To the right is the Gulf of America. To the left is the Atlantic Ocean. And I rode my bike across this bridge. It's 7 miles long. I rode it both ways. This is where I'm going camping for the next week. Be back to work, not this Monday, but next Monday. So you don't want to break down on this bridge. No shade, nowhere to pull off. You're on the road. So they built this, 1972, they built this bridge and left the old one behind. Right there's the old one. That's original construction, over 100 years old. Those pillars and the steel beams below, those are all original from 1909. And you'll see there is a Facebook page for a tree. I think it's called Fred the Tree, I believe. He's got his own Facebook page. It's coming up here on the right. He's been growing on this bridge for years. And somebody created his own Facebook page. But you'll see the construction change. Right now there's pillars. And there's some islands over here. Let me take this Let me roll down the window some. So there's a couple islands over there. There's some boats over there. I've been on those islands. It's a bumpy bridge. And it's hot out there. Let me get back to the air conditioning. I'm not looking forward to setting up the RV in the sun. Sweating. All right, we're coming up on the old construction. There's different kinds of construction here. And then you'll see the Facebook page famous tree. Coming up, it's Fred the tree, I believe, right there. Been in movies, this tree. I think it's a whispering pines or Australian pine tree. On the bridge. Look at the old construction. There's arches. They're arches instead of pillars. Solid concrete. There it is. And you see the railing. Those are real railroad tracks as railing. So the railing, they use the railroad tracks to create the guardrails. Sorry, it's bouncy on this bridge. All right, I'm gonna end the live stream in a couple of minutes here. There's another island. Almost there. And here you'll see the old bridge closer, and then they refurbished the rest of it. Look at that. The old bridge and the new bridge refurbished. Now they're fishing off of it. And then there's an island right there. How cool is that? I think that used to be the Capitol. They used to be the Capitol on that bridge. I mean, on that island. No kidding. Check the research. All right, thank you everybody for coming to hang out. I hope you enjoyed the view. I did it for you, not for me. You can check out the view where I'm at. Yes, it's nice weather. I got another 3 miles here, 4 miles, and I'll be at my campground. So I gotta set up my camper. I gotta check in front office and set up my RV. And I'll pop over the 3Ks live when I'm set up. All right. Thank you for watching. See you on 3K Brandy's Live. Bye-bye.